Happy Halloween, Internet! Let's talk about Suspiria. The remake's coming out in 2 days.
Roses are red, violets are blue, but the iris is the flower that will mean the end of it.
Suspiria is directed by Italian horror master Dario Argento. It stars Jessica Harper as Susie Bannion, a young American ballet student who goes to a prestigious school in Germany, only to discover that the people running the school are a coven of witches. To this day, Suspiria is pretty widely considered to be a cult classic, and it's still not hard to see why. There's really nothing quite like it out there. It's Dario Argento's first foray into experimenting with sound and color, and as a result, everything about it is meticulously designed to be both alluring and off-putting. It's a giallo film, but it's one of the first to take a really supernatural approach to a genre that's usually a lot more grounded. And there's so much about it that can be viewed as hokey and ridiculous and nonsensical. But because of the sheer dedication to its own insanity and the absolutely beautiful quality of its own mise-en-scène, things that should be unappealing and off-putting end up feeling like the carefully crafted workings of a madman pushing you into a nightmare that you have no choice but to sit through. There's really no way to accurately break down what works and what doesn't work in Suspiria, since all of it, good and bad, is all integral in lending to this piece that is ultimately more of an experience than a film. You can't just read a synopsis of this movie and hope to understand what makes it so special. You can't just watch a few scenes and get it. In a way, there's almost nothing to get. Suspiria is all the evidence you need that art doesn't have to make some big statement or be some poignant think piece or have something to say. Nothing's contextualized here, nothing's recontextualized here. This is the kind of film that solely exists to be pure expressionism. With its memorable score, overpowering colors, strange performances, bizarre dialogue, and the fact that pretty much every single frame of this movie could be hung on a wall. The entire film feels more along the lines of a raw nightmare thought stream that's pulled directly from someone's subconscious. Guys, I'm serious, I really don't know how to break this down for you because every single detail of it feels so integral and so important to the overall feeling that this movie creates. The score by Italian prog rock group Goblin is absolutely fantastic and haunting and eerie. It's a key piece at pulling you into the surreal nightmare world that this movie is. It kicks off right off the bat as Susie's leaving the airport, and every time the doors open, the Goblin score fades in, almost like it's coming from outside. And then the doors close, and it stops. And that's the first scene in the movie, and that shows you the kind of world you're entering, that just outside those doors, there's something haunting and creepy just out there in the rain. And as soon as she leaves that airport, she's going to be just thrust into this strange reality that this movie exists in. There's the vibrant, breathtaking, colorful set design of the Dance Academy that just pulls you in and every room feels like it has its own personality. There's the extreme, colorful, unnatural lighting that came as a result of them shining a light through a colored silk right next to an actor's face. The lighting that ultimately became a staple of Argento films from here on out. This is where he coined it. It's the fact that it's all shot in Technicolor, which really makes those vibrant colors pop. It's the fact that all the actors are saying the dialogue in their own native language and then having it all dubbed after the fact.
I once read that names which begin with the letter S are the names of snakes.
It's the fact that despite the lack of any extreme gore, all the death scenes in this film are visceral and brutal and gnarly as hell. Never in a million years could I have imagined a film where somebody dies falling into a room full of razor wire. Up until I saw this film, I never thought of that as even a thing. And then, having seen this, that's one of the most horrific of deaths imaginable. There's so much horrific imagery in this movie that just sticks with you and burns itself into your brain. There's so many images in this movie that if you looked at them completely without context, would look kind of silly, but because they're in this, because they're contextualized in this sense, what could be really silly ends up just burning itself into your subconscious and staying there and haunting you. Fuck, the opening 10 minutes of this movie and the 2 deaths that occur in it are so out there and so insane that even on my most fucked up day of horror writing, I could never imagine something like that. This movie is so interesting because it's so imaginative and so innovative and so crazy. You want to look away, you want to turn it off, but it's so imaginative and it's so hypnotic, and you can't help but be transfixed by it. All this from a movie that, as I said, was ultimately just an experimentation in Technicolor and in sound. There are so many reasons why this movie shouldn't work, and yet in spite of all of them, it just does. There are so many iconic scenes in this movie and so many visuals that just stick with you throughout everything. And that speaks volumes that, to this day, a movie this bizarre and this out there and this inventive still is fairly widely praised in the horror community. I really can't express how important this movie is, especially if you ever wanted to see what raw creativity looks like. If you're looking to get into Italian horror cinema, this would be my #1 recommendation to start off with. It's Dario Argento at his absolute peak, and it's an experience that I feel that everybody should have. And I'm going to say that Suspiria is absolutely a must-see. Any horror fan worth his salt has seen this movie and has their own thoughts on it, and I feel that if you appreciate film as an art form, especially horror cinema, and the amazing things that can be done in it, Suspiria is a film you need to see. It's strange and off-putting and beautiful and disturbing, and no matter how many things I say about it, nothing will compare to just seeing it for yourself. I absolutely cannot wait for the remake. I'm very excited. That's it for October, Internet. Happy Halloween to you all. I really hope you get lots of candy and dress in costumes and get very drunk and watch a bunch of spooky movies. Maybe next year I'll follow in the lines of that movie chick and I'll go, give a list of the best Halloween horror watches. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching and sticking with me for this long. Thank you for sticking with me through most of this crazy year of 2018. If you like this channel and you want to see more and you want to see my review of the new Suspiria coming out tomorrow, check down there, like, comment, subscribe. There's a link down in the description for my Patreon. If you like this channel and you want to support it, please consider donating, guys. Even $1 helps. It'll help me make new and better quality videos for you all to enjoy. But even if you don't, I still appreciate your viewership. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon.